Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 158, where hearts fell in the Highlands. Because, of course, they did. We've had perfect positivity up until this international break, but just before it, we had to end all that. As ever, I am Daniel McIver, joined by a quite unwell and soldiering through Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you feeling?
I've been better, I've been worse. It's not the Hearts result that's got me most, angry and annoyed this weekend. It's this big bastard cold and yeah, just feeling like absolute turd. But yeah, like I say, I'm here. So that's something. It's nice of you to host, albeit accidentally.
Yeah.
But you've actually bailed me out, to be fair. You doing your homework might have just been the best thing that's happened to this episode. So thank you for that. But yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I am all right. I was going to say two bits of housekeeping we've got to do before we get started. So, as Adam just mentioned, yeah, I'm hosting despite hosting last week, and basically, I forgot. Normally, I work from home on a Tuesday, so I can then normally do the prep for when I'm hosting, but I was in the
That's
office.
dedication.
See, look at that. Look at what I
I
do for
didn't know
this
I didn't
show.
know that. You kept that quiet. You kept that under wraps. Now I
See,
feel I feel somewhat guilty now.
you should do. You should do. But because I was in the office on Tuesday, on today as we're recording this, I was like, right, I know I'm hosting. I'll get my prep done on Monday, so it's all sorted. And then I realized, as you messaged me the day speaking about it, oh wait, yeah, I hosted last week. But as you say, because you're no feeling great, it makes more sense for me to host it anyway. And second point is that will become a theme for a wee bit after the international break, as not only is Adam ill just now, but Adam is coming to the final point of his uni life. So basically, you've got a lot of work to
Woohoo!
do, don't you? So you're going to be taking a few weeks off, and I'll
Yeah,
be I'll be holding down the fort.
it gets better and better, gang. Life just it's only going one way. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Yeah, currently trying to create a half-hour documentary, and as I said to you before we came on, uh, I'm needing to do kind of voiceovers in order to break up my interviewees. I don't think they'll be getting recorded anytime soon when I sound like this. So, yeah, I'll get there. Yeah, I've pretty much got all my footage together. I just need to start actually creating it. But the edit's an absolute bastard. And my writing is woeful at best. So yeah, we'll get there.
Perfect. So yeah, obviously next week we'll be taking our usual break anyway, as it's the international break now. However, after that there'll be a few episodes. We're not totally sure how many, with me and another guest, and then Adam will make his glorious, triumphant return as Hearts get into a Scottish Cup final and secure third by 20 points.
Nice. I'd like to think I'd be back before then. I should be back before then. I think my dis is due the 12th of April.
Right.
And then my final module is podcasting, but I can't submit this rubbish on the 26th of April.
We
So
say you've got
I've
a
st
backlog. Just
still,
chuck them this.
oh, it's great. I'm still to interview absolutely anybody for. If anybody knows any golf historians, please feel free to get in touch. Any golf historians, anybody that's connected to Royal Troon Golf Club. If you know Michael Stewart, not the dickhead, but the one that plays golf, please feel free to give me a shout. Yeah, thanks.
So yes, that is what is the kind of very short term future for the podcast. And the short term future for Heart of Midlothian is reminiscing over a loss up in Dingwall for the first time in fucking ages, basically.
Over a decade, a lot of
Yeah,
averages in it.
yeah, it had to happen
It's
at some point.
got to happen at some stage. I think it's. Did I see that we were unbeaten in something like 14 games against Ross County? I think
I
it's like
can't mind. I
our
can't mind. It
best
was something
run against
ridiculous.
our best run against some other top tier team for ages.
Yeah.
So had to happen. It's happened to Dapper Don and his Staggies team. So we take that. It is what it is.
Definitely. And well, just before we get to our game, we will go around the grounds. And Dapper Dawn actually had a midweek game to deal with from the other
Oh,
side of Edinburgh, as Ross County scored a dramatic, we'll call it, last minute equaliser with future Jambo Yandanda getting on the score sheet, which was delightful for Hearts
Uh,
Twitter.
That's just one of those great moments where you're just like, they really are the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep.
Like, no matter how shit a season they've had, just as they think that they're clawing it back somewhat, they're just hit with a little sucker punch like that. Oh, magnificent. And the goal's so bad as well. Like,
It's
it's
rubbish.
absolutely terrible, the equaliser. It just makes it funnier. And then, of
The
course,
first goal's really
their
funny
fans
as
doing what they
well.
do. Oh, they're terrible. Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah, and the other midweek game was Dundee continuing Aberdeen's just hopeful
Dismay.
downfall. Yes, as they ran out very comfortable winners 1-0. However, then we move on to the full card of Premiership games as the Sunday match, Dundee versus Rangers, was postponed. Another game postponed at Dens for a waterlogged pitch. So
Like, like that is an embarrassment. What is that about four now?
I think it's four, at least four, yeah.
That is a disgrace. They've got a cheek to slag off plastic parks. At least that would go ahead at Livingston
Yeah,
or Kilmarnock.
exactly.
Dundee, don't even get me started on that club. Let's just
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to rant.
So, as I say, we were the one of the five games on Saturday. We'll get to that soon. Celtic ran out 3-1 victors against St Johnstone at
Nobody cares about
Parkhead.
that.
No one gives a shit. Hibernian have apparently got their season back on track by
Again, nobody cares about
battering
that. A
a
hopeless championship bound
relegated
Livingston. Yeah.
Livingston. Yeah, exactly. Motherwell didn't continue the fun for everybody.
Dicks!
Yep, absolute pricks as they fell to 1-0 loss against Aberdeen. Peter Leavens, Aberdeen, who just is like the best manager they have and they've just never
Oh,
appointed for some
without a
reason.
doubt. Probably the best managers is Derek McInnes left.
Yeah, exactly. No idea why they don't just give him it. See what you did it with Robson. I'm sure
Uh,
it'll work the exact same.
yeah,
And
by all
then
means.
the actually interesting mental one of the games of the season games as St Mirren run out very comfortable 2-0 winners at half time against Kilmarnock, which is something that is not often said at Rugby Park. And
Definitely not.
then there is a 19 minutes of madness as Kilmarnock go from 2-0 down to 4-2 up before eventually then getting a fifth goal as well. Just I I mean, I think most people listening to this podcast will have seen the highlights. It's just one of those things it feels like Killie could have played anybody in the world in that 20-minute period and you'd fancy them to beat them.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I think you're spot on what you said in terms of St Mirren racing into that two-goal lead. That's impressive by anybody's doing down
Yeah.
there. It's absolutely not an easy venue to go to. I fancied Kilmarnock just because they are so good at home. But when I saw that St Mirren had raced into a two-goal lead, I was thinking, what a result that would be.
Yeah.
Particularly when trying to obviously open up that cushion on Kelly and push towards catching us. Um, but I mean, what an unbelievable response from Kilmarnock. He's just built a really good squad. You know that?
Yeah.
Like contributions from here on over the wide areas, up front, even midfield. The young lad David Watson's very good, very very good. I think they'll have high hopes to make an absolute bomb on him. Yeah, Kelly, he's just done a really good job. But that St Mirren collapse, you wonder if that's going to cost them in the latter stages of the season. That was probably more entertaining than the other four games
Yeah.
combined.
That
To
is
be honest with
probably
you,
true.
like a routine win for Celtic, routine win for Hibs. Motherwell, like you had one job. All I wanted this weekend was Wraith Rovers to leapfrog Dundee United at the top of the championship. Didn't happen. And Motherwell to beat Aberdeen and just have them, nervously looking over their shoulder. They still are, but obviously thanks to Ross County beating us. But I don't know, man. You just get the impression that if Aberdeen actually get their act together and appoint somebody, they probably will just eventually ascend. I really hope I'm wrong when I say that, but
Yeah.
because it would be a good laugh. we were discussing it before we came on. I would much rather see Wraith Rovers win the league and then play Dundee United in a playoff final potentially, but you don't quite feel
I
that same
think if
way.
that is the case, Aberdeen are staying in the top flight because I can just see Dundee United thinking, oh God, we've just lost this league that everyone's expecting us to win. And we're now going up against a team that everyone's like, they've got no confidence. They're the laughing stock of the country. And it's the whole story of Jim Goodwin taking Aberdeen down after the situation. I don't
Jamie
trust it.
McGrath to net the winner against Dundee United probably
Oh
just pop
God.
up. I don't
Yeah.
know. It would be that would be box office to be fair. If that
Oh, it
was the
would be
playoff
like,
final, that would be class. I think that would be by far and away the most high profile one of those
yeah,
that we've had
100%.
since the because what it was 2013 I think was when
Yeah. I guess
the
Rangers
revamp
Motherwell's the
happened.
only one that's close to it.
Yeah, obviously Hamilton Hibs was a good laugh for us, but
Yeah.
nobody else really. But in terms of like two of the big hitters in Scottish football going toe to toe, that'd be brilliant to be fair. But I don't know. I just United I feel could be there. Aberdeen not as confident. But
Yeah.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
Well, the team that hopefully will leapfrog them eventually by the end of the season managed to take 4 points from a possible six this week again. Well, last week now against both sides of Edinburgh. Stephen Naismith's team travelled up to the Highlands and he made some changes, and a big one was formation. Now, don't
Oh.
listen to the BBC because the
Oh,
BBC currently
please
has
don't. They
Aidan
had
Denham
Kenneth
up front.
Vargas, yeah, they had Denham up front and Vargas in midfield. Like, who is doing that? Again,
Yeah.
a company and a program I would never criticize. So let's move on.
So Stephen Naismith's team did line up in the much debated of its quality 3-5-2 formation as Sander
This is your
Clark.
case study. It's absolutely rank. But carry on.
Sander Clark in goals, a back three of Toby Sibbick, Kai Rose, and Stephen Kingsley. And then, actually, I've just realised it kind of was and wasn't. It started off as a four because it was a four of Atkinson, Sibbick, Rolls, and Kingsley. Then a midfield three of Cochrane, Benny, and Denham with
Vargas and Forrest either
Vargas
side of
and
Shanklin.
yeah, like a 4-3-3. It
Can I
did,
just say, MacGyver,
however,
sorry, the fact that we have to like decide what the formation is
yeah,
pretty much tells the story.
yeah, because I was going to say
Really.
it changed a lot throughout the game. Funnily enough, just we'll get to it, but just before we conceded, we changed to a three and looked a bit more secure. Then when we conceded, we looked a lot more open, and it was really bad. And then we moved back to the four, and then it was really bad. But then when we started getting ascendancy, we were back in the four, and it started looking really good
Oh,
again. So it was interesting, is the word I'll use to describe it.
yeah. I saw what I thought was three central defenders, and I was just beside myself from there on in. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I think we're much stronger in a four. But then again, you're probably looking at it thinking the drop off from losing somebody like a Frankie Kent to, with all due respect, a Toby Sibbick coming in, you're going to have to try and aid him, I think. And
Yeah,
that was obviously the case in this game, given the goals. In terms of midfield, yeah, Benny, oh, Benny's such a curious case. Miss Callum Neuenhoff big time, and now I think we're beginning to realise that the front three is probably the bit where I'm most comfortable with.
yeah.
Vargas, Forrest, and Shankland. I don't think we can really argue. I'm not having Nathaniel Atkinson still. Civic, I like, but he's prone to a
But
mistake.
he's got this in him. He has it
Exactly.
in him.
We've got this in him. In Denham, I like, albeit still a young man. Alex Cochrane's not a central midfield player. It needs to be he or Stephen Kingsley. I would actually wouldn't mind to see Kingsley in the centre with Cochrane at left back, but
Same. I'd like
just
that.
just no. I wasn't overly sold by the setup, and thankfully, well, I don't know what I'm saying thankfully for, and ultimately that's the way that
You were
it
proven
proved, sadly.
correct.
Yeah.
Well,
I take no pride in it. I don't like.
yeah.
It's shit when that happens. I want them to prove me wrong, but I was fearing the worst.
Yes. And I think everybody was feeling the worst 7 minutes in when Simon Murray gets past Kai Rolls and plays a ball across the
Oh,
box to
Jesus
Jordan
wept.
White, who misses a chance that, thank you, Joe Sked. Joe Sked confirmed that the chance Jordan White missed had an XG of 0.95.
Bloody hell. So in other words, he has to tuck it.
95 times out of 100, that's a goal, basically.
Nice. Okay, so there's a 5% chance of him missing that, and
Yep.
thankfully we were of the 5%. Um, Kai Rolls, I hate to do this so early on in the podcast, so early on in the episode.
He slips in
Paolo
fairness to him.
Paolo Maldini or Paolo Nutini. I am sick of saying it. Like again, he might slip, but like he runs like he's like trying to traipse through quicksand, trying to catch Simon Murray. I know Simon Murray's
Sometimes,
got a bit.
but then other times he looks fast. It's weird.
It is weird. It throws you off. Jordan White has got a annoyingly somewhat decent scoring
Yeah, he
record against
seems to
us. I feel
always
like
score against us.
exactly. That's a sitter. That was the
Yeah,
warning.
yeah,
Like
it
the
was.
fact that there's a warning that comes so early on. And look, people will say, "Oh, it's Ross County, and we should be taking care of them with our facilities, resources, whatever." Yes, we should. But sometimes when it comes to the business end of the season, I think what's often overlooked is the fact that teams are scrapping for their lives.
Yeah,
Those 3 points for Ross County could be absolutely massive. That could ultimately be the difference in them retaining their Premiership status or dropping into that relegation playoff place. I, I just, I don't know. I just felt as though it was maybe, is it complacency kicking in? Do we just feel as though not really up for this today, or I don't know. It was a weird one. I think the breaks come at a good time for us, to be honest.
same. Agreed.
I think this game we sort of did look a wee bit leggy, not just Rolls at the back running for obviously this white sitter, but just generally I felt it was pretty lethargic. Thought it was pretty lackluster. Don't know. It just needed a bit more oomph. It was weird. Like we dominated the game, but if you're asking me, do I feel as though we deserve to win it? Not necessarily sure that I'd say that we did.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
totally. That's very fair. I was saying to you just before we came on air, I thought it was actually quite a good game from a neutral perspective. I imagine if you're a neutral watching that, you probably quite enjoyed the game because the next three chances that come are actually for us because Vargas and Shankland link up, but the latter's effort is well over the bar. Then a couple of minutes later, Toby Sipic actually hits a really good volley,
Yeah, it
but
is.
it's punched away. I can't remember why he's there, but Toby Sibic's there in the
No
penalty
idea.
spot.
Is it not from a free kick or a corner?
Maybe it
Must
must
be.
be because they both must have come up. But yeah, so there was that chance, and then there's quite a big jump from the 18th minute to the 40th minute. Vargas rattles the bar
He's unlucky to be man, to be fair.
from the edge of the box. And I will be honest, at this point, I was thinking, all right, okay. It was evident that Ross County were more up for it, as you were saying. They seemed more intense. We seemed a bit more lackluster, was a really good word. And I was thinking, however, we are dominating this game. We are going to start creating chances. And literally, as I start thinking, oh, we're maybe starting to do something, just get into half time. We'll see what goes on. Nathaniel Atkinson slips and gives the ball to his future teammate, Jan Danda, who plays a great
A
ball.
sublime ball.
Yeah,
A
an
lovely,
excellent
lovely
ball.
pass.
Over the top to Simon Murray. Manages to get in. However, his effort is actually saved by Xander and it's out into Toby Sibic,
Oh,
but he delays. And as a result, Murray just nips in, sticks his foot out, and manages to poke it past Xander Clark. We go into half time, 1-0 down, and it's complete. Naismith has said this a lot. He said this after Rangers. He said this after the 2-2 derby. He said this after Celtic, that a lot of goals we concede are our own fault. It's not the opposition doing something great or anything
I
like
can't
that.
I can't
This is
debate
very
that
much
on the basis of this.
it's very much the biggest. If you're ever going, what's an example of that? type of
Yeah.
goal. You look at this one because he just needs to clear it. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah. You kind of said about it being an entertaining game. I feel like our games with Ross County are entertaining for the most
Yeah,
part. I feel like even though they're perceived to have sort of the least in terms of, or one of the smallest budgets in the league, I feel so County always give it a good go. I
yeah,
feel like they've got talent in attacking areas. They're not shy. They try and play. Um, I, I think they're actually a decent footballing team. But as you say, I mean, this first goal is just masters of our own downfall once more. The Danda pass is brilliant. Simon Murray just allowed all the time in the world to nip in behind and obviously get his shot away. But what Toby Civic is thinking of, I simply do not know.
it's like what he
Um,
did in. It reminded me of the semi-final against Hibs.
I knew you were going to say that because I was thinking the exact same thing. When
Yeah,
all he's got to do is just smash somebody out the way.
yeah,
It's just like in that instance, you're just like take the booking. Like we're
yeah. It's
2-0 up, we're
fine.
cruising. Take the booking. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But in this instance, again, you said it. This is what 40 minutes, 41 minutes. Just
43.
get 43, like a couple minutes away from just get to half time. Get to half time at 0-0. Second half Hearts will hopefully turn up and do what they do, and we'll be bailed out once again. But that just doesn't happen, and I don't even know what he's trying to do. It seems like he's trying to like knee it, like it's like a knee keepy uppy to then what? Just volley it clear? Like what is he doing?
I don't know. I don't know if he's thinking I'm going to shield and Clark will come out and get this.
But like, but what?
But it's
Because
way too close to his body.
exactly, it feels like he'd knee it against Sander Clark's face
Yeah,
if Clark comes to get that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what he's trying to do. And then Murray just nips in, and it's actually I know it's obviously he's not 80 yards out or whatever, but it's actually quite a clever finish
Yeah,
because it
it is.
catches Clark out his near post and it's past him in a flash. But it's a dreadful goal to concede. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know is he distracted by the wee one that's just come into his life, or
Maybe, I don't know.
what's going through his skull? Is it sleepless nights, Toby? Like, just let us know. I'd love for him to come out and actually explain what his logic was for doing what he does. And like I say, I like Toby Civic. I do. I felt like at times he was given a tough ride by our support. He basically stood up to be counted. He had the fans all on his side once more, but he does have a brain fart in him, and I'm not convinced he's a centre back. I still don't know what his best position is.
And it's
Give
like he
him
had that game against Celtic. He's coming through the cold and he absolutely
exactly,
strolls it.
exactly. I've got a cheek to be labelling roles Maldini
Yeah,
or Nuti.
exactly.
Civic's exactly the same. You've got the
Yeah.
two Chuckle brothers either side, man. I don't know. I'm not convinced by midfield. Just plonk him in midfield. Just you
Okay. Yeah.
you be a big battering ram in the middle of the park and take it for there. I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing. I love him. So I want it to work. I'm like, right, come on, Toby. We'll find another position for you. Are you good up front? Right, we'll just chuck you up front.
It's getting to the stage now where I'm thinking, if we're chasing the game, would you just stick him up with
Yeah,
Vargas and
fuck
he could
it.
just flick on to Vargas?
Yeah, he's the new Halkett. We used to mind that
Oh,
season before we got relegated where it
that's
was like,
House Muir League Cup
yep,
tie. Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
Hey, it worked.
Oh, who could forget it?
Yeah.
What a time
Well,
to be alive.
you think, right, okay, it's a bad time to concede, but right, get in at half time. Let's work out some new tactics, style, maybe change the intensity or something like that, and come out the traps, second half, flying, and let's try and get someone on our way within 3 minutes of the restart. We're 2-0 down as the ball is worked
Second half, Hearts
across.
still snoozing.
Yeah, exactly. The ball's worked across to the far side by Yandanda, who I will say, I thought he was the best player in the park for the 90 minutes.
I'd like to see some of those performances in a maroon shirt. Yes,
It is
please.
funny that he's done nothing for 3 months and he's turned up against Hearts and Hibs.
I rate that. Big clash. He's a big game player.
Exactly.
I like
That's
it.
Barry Mackay, though. We can't have another Barry Mackay.
No, that's fine. You just play Barry Mackay against all the wee nonsense
The wee
and then
shite.
let Jan Dander cook against the big teams.
I mean, fair. I take that. It's played out for to Reed. Reed crosses it in, and it just kind of seems like Simon Murray's like going past people, going like, "Sorry, excuse me, wait, hold on, sorry, just need to get past." And the Hearts defence should go, "Oh, aye, sorry, mate, sorry, aye, on you go." And Murray just
Like he's
cuts across
bursting
the
on the
face and
lavy,
go,
innit?
"Yeah,
He's bursting and he's not waiting in a queue.
no," and just lashes it past Xander Clark,
Great finish.
and it's 2-0, 2-0 Ross County.
I wish it was 2-0
I
Hearts.
wish it was 2-0 Hearts.
Um, Another appalling goal to concede. Why Nathaniel Atkinson doesn't close the best player on the park down, I do not know. Why Josh Reed is allowed the freedom of the Highlands, I don't know. And Simon Murray just treats the three defenders on the left-hand side as though it's the Highland clearances. So yeah, it's really not a good, really not a good goal to concede.
I like there, by the way, how clearly all your thoughts went into Highland puns, and then you had to suddenly do analysis, and it was just, yeah, it's not good.
Terrible, absolutely terrible. No, really, I
It's
don't want to
bad,
be
isn't
here.
it?
It's
Just
awful.
bad defending, and I think it does speak
I,
to what you were saying about like one team is desperate for these points,
we
and the
just
other
don't look
team
arsed.
is in an island of their own, just kind of going, "Oh well, if we get beat, we're still double figure points and clearing third."
We really just did not look arsed. I don't know who's most culpable for this goal because
I don't know. I think everybody
I love sticking it
involved.
to Nathaniel Atkinson, but would I really pin it on him? No, I'm not so sure. Like I say, Josh Reed just has far too much space. Decent delivery, and it's a great finish from Murray, but Cochrane rolls, sleeping. Like, I just piss poor.
Aye.
Really, really, really poor. As a defensive collective, not even just like one or two individuals. You could label it down to four or five, really.
Yeah, definitely. And at that point, you're kind of like, right, okay, what happens now? But weirdly, that seemed to be the sudden, like, oh, wait, yeah, we're playing football here. Sorry, hold on. We'll actually come into playing a game
It's
here
not like us
because,
to take 50 minutes to warm up, is it?
yeah, exactly. Actually, I'd say 60 here because in the 60th minute, substitute George
Just give them
Grant.
an hour head start, an
Yeah,
hour and 2 goal head start.
George Grant hits an effort for the edge of the box. It ends up
Really
at
sick of
Forrest's
that guy.
feet.
Don't know what he's doing. That is just aimless. That just reeks of desperation. It's not even a decent effort. It's like a pea roller. Like, what are
Well,
you doing?
that P roller ends up at Forrest's feet, who roulettes past
He
his
does really
defender.
well, to be fair,
Yeah.
Alan Forrest.
And I think he's done a roulette and he's like, if I score this, it's the best goal I've ever scored in my life. So goes for it, however, just
Rescues
short
it.
of
He
safe.
tries to do a wee Simon Murray and sneak it in that near
Yeah,
post.
but nah.
Yeah, I think he's trying to bail George Grant out of the embarrassment, to be honest, and make it look as though that highlight actually would have led to something because that was woeful.
Well, then the big talking point from this game happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the 73rd minute. Heart of Midlothian win a free kick on the edge
Oh,
of the box.
I thought you were meaning the other one.
Oh, well,
Also
this
involving
was the
this
thing.
man.
Right, we'll speak about that one first because it didn't appear in the highlights and I couldn't remember when it
I,
was.
I'm glad you brought this up because that is convenient
Yeah, it is
uh,
very
by
fucking
by
convenient.
by the BBC. Hearts TV as well, coincidentally, no highlights package.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Hearts.
thanks as always for your contributions.
Yep, exactly.
But the BBC, you are an absolute disgrace.
So,
Why would you overlook the major talking point within the match? Not even give it a second's worth of airtime. Don't even discuss it post match with your pundits. Neil McCann, one of which is a club legend and would have a say either way. Jackie McNamara probably would because he's ex-Celtic and more than likely doesn't like us. I don't know why you would just actively ignore that. And again, like if we're trying to build Scottish football up, we want it to be full of talking points. How do you expect, I don't know, Go Radio or Clyde One Super Scoreboard to discuss all the major talking points if, guess what? You leave one of them out of highlights package.
yeah, exactly.
It's
And
little things like this, sorry, McIver, little stipulations like this all add up to me. And I just get so frustrated because, like,
yeah,
all of it should count. Like, this, we're trying to do our very best for this product here. And it seems like some folk just, ugh, it's only Ross County Hearts. It doesn't really matter. Of course it matters.
well, if somehow you're unfamiliar with what Adam's speaking about, in the 62nd minute, there's a bit of sustained pressure from us, and the ball eventually finds its way through to Lawrence Shankland on the penalty spot. and there is a tussle coming together. Shankland ends up going down. It is literally hits the ground and basically bounces because he's then immediately getting back up to try and get the ball. However, the referee is blowing his whistle, and I'm thinking as it happened, Jesus, that is a soft penalty. But no, actually, Lawrence Shanklin is getting booked for diving. Now, just before we came on air, 6:30, Hearts released this statement as we appealed it because, and I imagine under the premise of it wasn't a penalty. Listen, that's not a penalty for Hearts, right?
It's not, but I've seen worse given.
That's true, but generally, I don't think anyone on
I'm
that in that moment is asking for a penalty for Hearts in terms of like the players in the park. However, it's not a dive because there is contact, and a dive implies that you're trying to con the referee into giving you a foul. Whereas Shanklin doesn't even appeal for it; he's immediately up trying to get it. So,
and you're told from an early age if there's contact, go down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like he's not trying to con the referee; he's trying to persuade the referee that there's contact being made and that he should give.
But I don't even. I don't think he is. Conning him. I don't think he's trying to win a penalty. I think he's genuinely been knocked over, and it's like, no, wait, I can get this still. So it's just getting up to get the ball.
To play on or whatever.
Yeah, you see him immediately. He doesn't even look at the ref. He doesn't put a hand up. I think he feels contact and goes down, and then he's like, this isn't a penalty. I can get that ball still. So we appeal it. However, just before we came on air, Hearts released a statement. Heart Midlothian
is like the good old days. This.
Yeah, exactly. We're back. Heart Midlothian is surprised to learn that the club's appeal against Lawrence Shanklin's yellow card for simulation against Ross County has been dismissed. The opposing player's knee can clearly be seen connecting with Lawrence's thigh, which we highlighted as evidence at the appeal. The club will learn the reasoning behind the dismissal later this week, at which point we may comment further. I mean, it's just laughable that it's not been rescinded.
I'd love to know who sits in on these appeals. Like who goes on behalf of Hearts? Does Naismith go? Does Shanklin go? Like who goes?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be really intrigued to see who sits on that from a Hearts perspective, and certainly from an SFA or SPFL perspective. Look, it's one of those things. We've just got to get on with it. Like,
yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't think it defined the game is
that they didn't issue a ban or nothing like that, because obviously when Yang got sent off, I think they extended the ban, didn't they, by an extra game?
Yeah, I think they did. I can't remember, but I think they did.
But you see that happen from time to time. So, end of the day, it's a no. Okay, like, would it really change the outcome of the game? Might get a point out of it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So,
and then
it is what it is.
Then the thing where I've actually not spoken to you about this.
Sorry that I've interrupted you here.
No, thank you, because I totally forgot about it. It wasn't in the package, so I forgot about it until we keep that statement. Again, but I'd already made my notes.
Stuff like that just irks me.
Yeah, that's fair. However, 73rd minute, Hearts get a free kick on the edge of the box. Stephen Kingsley steps up. Daniel McIver and all his Oracle glory went, well, there's no way he's scoring for here. And of course, Stephen Kingsley scores from there.
That's You're thinking beauty as well.
It's a screamer. It's a great, great free kick that no keeper is getting near, regardless of what any other teammate may be doing. So why is he there? Because when you then halt for a second and realise, oh, wait, hold on, they're checking for something, and suddenly it is made official that they're checking for a possible offside. I'll be honest, when I first heard that, I was like, if somehow we're offside for this, we did deserve to have this goal. Because how can you be offside from this position? And then you see it, and Lawrence Shankland, as the ball is kicked, is in the goalkeeper's eye line. Despite him making a move away as quick as he can, he's still in the keeper's eye line.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that he's obstructing George Wickes' vision. It's annoying because it's a really good goal from Stephen Kingsley.
I know.
And, that would have succeeded the Celtic strike. Back to his best, firing the missile man. The missile man is back to his best.
He might be getting into the Scotland squad now that Grant Hanley's out.
See that. I think that's just Hearts fans pushing it, to be honest. I'll be delighted for him if he does get in, but again,
I
I'm
hope he doesn't.
selfish, so yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, and again, he's one of the few defenders that can actually hold his head up high given this performance. Um, yeah, just
Can
really
you believe
frustrating.
the level of discourse around it? Because immediately people were furious at me, at others. Rob and Laurie get into an argument after the game on
What do
air.
they?
Yeah, because Rob is not having it, whereas Laurie's like, yeah, I can totally see why that's happening. It lit
He
Twitter alight.
obstructs his vision 100%. He
He
does,
does. He does. It's
and
like, why is he
and
there?
you know what else is the clue? Like it shouldn't be usually because I'd imagine that professional football players moan at most things, but the fact that George Wickens gets up and is immediately that
Yeah,
incensed and highlights that Lauren Shanklin was in my road, I couldn't see it.
yeah.
Like I think I'm amazed that they didn't take longer to eventually reach that conclusion, mind you. But I think it probably was the right call, unfortunately.
Yeah, agreed. There's only a couple more things to speak about. As that kind of took the wind out of the sails, and you were kind of like, right,
Oh,
okay,
that was it. That killed the contest completely. That was
yeah.
it. Done.
In the 80th minute, Kenny Vargas has a really great header tipped over the bar,
I
which is
I
unlucky
really
for
like
him.
that young man. I really do.
I know,
I
absolutely.
feel for him because the one that crashed off the bar as well was another great effort first
Yeah.
half. This is actually a really clever header as well
Hmm.
because it's not even like he's like he's obviously aiming towards goal, but you know what I mean. It's not in his sight. He sort of flicks back, not aimlessly, but like he knows what he's trying to do, but it takes real skill to execute that. If you see what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like
totally.
it's not. It's not just a random header, but it's a really good header that he's just unfortunate that he doesn't quite catch the keeper out.
However, another young player that we've been a fan of, and someone that you're not a fan of, both combined for, thankfully, there was a goal as Adam Kennedy's player of the season,
One
George
of my boo
Grant,
boys.
plays a nice through ball to Yutaro Oda. However, Yutaro Oda has a
I'm
lot
glad
to
that's what
do.
we've paid 400 grand for.
Yeah,
A through ball and a
exactly.
defeat to Ross County.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Yutaro Oda does very well as he does his defender and smashes the ball off the post, gets his fourth goal of the season. His first game back for injury. There's a listen, I think there was a bit of an overreaction to the game. My response to that loss was, oh, okay, we've lost. Ah well. We were going to lose at some point. But I'm delighted there are positives, and one of that is Yutaro Oda first came back and gets another goal.
Great goal, to be
It is a
fair.
really good goal.
And again, like he's a player that I've described as greedy in the past, but when like certain circumstances, I don't mind it because really we were never coming back into this game. So you as well just trying something or pulling something off that wouldn't usually come off. You don't often get the chance to try and do in a game.
Yeah,
He just gets his head down. He actually does really well to just race away, and it's a brilliant finish.
it
And it
is really good.
kisses the inside of the post. That in that instance, I think if we'd had more time, I'd be screaming for him to just centre that for somebody to tap in. But in this instance, I don't really mind that he's gone for a goal, and particularly not if he's actually found it with a really good finish. So pleased for him, because I think that he'd lost his place in the team. Really, I think I said obviously as we were talking about the team selection that Forrest, Vargas, and Shankland, I wouldn't really have any qualms with. I don't think that you could really have chucked anybody else in there at the expense of one of those. So yeah, it's great. It's what we want. We want players pushing for places. We want competition in the wide areas. So it's good to see Oda back, and it's a really good goal. I've got no qualms about him being greedy on this occasion when it's a fantastic finish like that.
Definitely. So that did bring an end to the game. A 2-1 loss. Listen, it's not the end of the world. As you say, there are a lot of people who will be like, it's irregardless of situations, we should be beating Ross County every single time we play them. But that's not how football works.
It's a lot of averages, McIver. Like they had to win one against us up there
Yeah.
eventually. 10 years is pretty good going. For and look, I know we've had 2 seasons in the championship, but don't let that take away
But
from
shh.
what's a pretty healthy record up there. It's not an easy place to go. I think the travel pretty much takes out of you before you even bloody get there. So yeah, aids them in their survival quest. Hopefully, if they pip Aberdeen to finish 10th, then I've got absolutely be brilliant if it was by like 2 points or something as well, just to know that we were the ones that did that.
The dream, the
Um,
absolute dream. But
but
yeah,
we'll
you
never know.
then mentioned how traveling takes it out of folk, and we have got a lot of folk who are going to be doing a lot of
Nice.
traveling over the next couple of weeks, as we have hundreds of players, it feels like, away on international duty. Kenny Vargas has been
Already
called up
going
to
global, baby.
exactly. Kenny Vargas has been called up to Costa Rica. Dexter Lambakis has been called up to
Oh,
Jamaica.
sorry. Talking about Vargas to Costa Rica, I see Messi's pulled out of the game. Like
I
that is just
know it's a
heartbreaking.
disgrace. It's
What a
gutting.
guy. Oh, devastated for him.
Yeah. Lembikisa in the Jamaica squad. Toby Sibic in the Uganda squad.
That came out of
Roles.
nowhere as well, didn't it?
I'm so chuffed for him. This is what I
That's
mean. I
cool.
want to be
That
doing
is
well.
cool.
That's class. Very sadly, Callum Neuenhoff doesn't join Kai Rolls and Nathaniel Atkinson with Australia, even though it was confirmed by Graham Arnold he would have if he didn't get hurt.
Is it? It's too soon for Devlin as well, I'd imagine.
Yes, aye.
Yeah.
But Devlin's
That's
had
their strongest
caps.
area as well, Australia, I think, in the
Exactly.
middle of the park.
Yeah,
So no matter.
gutting for him. However, the
On
more
to the next one.
pertinent. Well, apologies if I've missed anybody else away, but I don't think I have, apart from the main ones that we're about to talk about now. I
Who'd you
don't think
say? Vargas, Lembakisa, Benny,
Rolls. Oh,
Rolls,
Benny! That's who I
Civic.
missed.
Benny. Benny
Benny.
is away, isn't he?
I
Aye.
think
The
so.
Congo. Is that right?
I think so. You find out just now, as basically
Oh,
the ones
look.
that a lot of Hearts fans were mainly focused on was the trio travelling to the Scottish camp to play in these two friendlies. It was both the goalies, Xander Clark and Craig Gordon.
Mental that there's more goalkeepers than there are strikers in that squad, but
It's some laugh in
carry,
it.
carry on.
And obviously, number 9, Lawrence Shankland. As you say, one of the big talking points was that somehow Liam Kelly is just hanging on to this plane, just desperately trying to remain in this squad. They didn't
He'll
have
be
room for
dishing
him
out the
on it.
teas and coffees on the flight, probably, Liam Kelly.
Exactly. I have no idea why. And then you get fucking idiots like Alan Ruff being like, it's a disgrace if Liam Kelly doesn't go and Craig Gordon does.
Oh
Shut
my
up.
God. Beat it, you bass.
Have you been able to find out if Benny's going Congo squad?
No, I'm looking through it and I just see congratulations, Kenneth Vamos. Congratulations, Dexter. I thought Hearts did an article. Oh, congratulations to Kai and Natty. Hold on a second. I'm just scrolling down the Twitter feed.
I
I
never
thought they.
saw anything about it.
I was convinced that they'd put out some article that there was like 10, or was it Barry Anderson maybe put it in the
Yeah, I was
evening
trying to
news? I
find
think
that
he
as
might have.
well. I can't even remember where it is though.
Hold on a second. 10
But yeah,
jambles.
basically, Lawrence Shankland, Craig Gordon, and Xander Clark are all going. Listen, if you've been listening to this podcast for any period of time, you'll know my thoughts on international football. I don't care. And I never want Hearts players to be as part of their squads because I don't want them to get hurt. Of course, I'm happy for them personally, but I'm like, go lads, don't play a single minute and come back bubble wrapped so that you're fine. Now, again, it's slightly different with the fact that apart from the cup, we seem to have third done. But still, we do have cups. We have a very big semi-final that if it's like if someone happens to Shankland or both our keepers who are away, it's like the two
Please
most
don't.
important ends of the park, which is what's terrifying.
It's completely terrifying, but by the same score, this is the pinnacle for a footballer to represent. I
Yeah.
was going to say their nation, but their nation of choice for some.
Or birthright
Um,
kind of thing.
yeah, make the parents proud or whoever their
Yeah.
granny that they're representing. I don't know. Um, yeah, it's great. It's what we want. It helps the club's profile. I think it also is a massive pool for young players when they'll see the likes of Dexter Lembakisa
Yeah.
and they'll then go, well, hold on a second. I was going to say, I represent an obscure nation. I don't mean it like that at all. I just mean if I'm out getting first team football, my chances of international football are then more likely.
Mhm.
Be that at Hearts when I'm playing in front of a decent crowd. No, I messed that up. When I'm playing in front of a decent
I
crowd of
just love the
people
idea
and
that there's
just
people sat currently listening to this in nations such as going, what the fuck are you trying to
somebody
say
in Kits
about
and Nevis is going, I wonder if I'll get the call up.
us? Exactly.
You know what I mean? I just sorry. I think I think it's a decent it basically presents us as a decent pathway. Go out, get
Yes.
some exposure, and international football could soon follow. That's what I meant to say.
That's the pinnacle of your life being mocked by Adam Kennedy saying you play for an irrelevant small nation.
I didn't say relevant, I said obscure.
Oh, that's fine then. That's totally fine. Well, let's see how obscure and irrelevant the questions are in the quiz, because this is obviously going to be a shorter episode.
Nice.
So we're moving into the quiz.
Oh,
And listen,
Jesus. Trying to think, there was nothing else because we basically wanted to talk about the Scotland squad, the game, around the grounds. That was pretty much it,
I
wasn't
can't think of anything else. If there was,
it?
we
Okay, then.
apologise.
Can't
But
be anything too noteworthy, exactly. I don't
nah,
care.
exactly. So, because Adam's ill, I've I've probably given him the easiest quiz.
Don't give me this
So
rubbish, this
let's
spiel
see
week
if
by
we
week.
can get to this level that I think he should very easily achieve. So, as ever,
H, we're lucky to see the first question.
yep, we have the multiple choice true or false, two normal questions, and then the who am I. So we start with the multiple choice.
Oh, great.
Next summer's Hearts signee Yandanda has caught our
Uh,
eye over the last season or two, and the Hearts' eye over the last two games because he's done very
okay.
well. However, what major English club were allegedly interested in him whilst he was at Swansea? Is it A,
Oof.
Liverpool? Is it B, Chelsea? Is it C, Man City? Or is it D, Man United?
I'm certain he's a former Liverpool youth.
Right.
Would they be interested in bringing him back? It's a big hitter anyway. One of those four. Jesus. Oh, this is just entirely random. Do you know what? It sounds silly, but just because I know that he's a former Liverpool youth, I'm going to go with Liverpool. I have no idea.
That's what I was hoping you'd think because of
Brilliant.
that.
Who was it? Man United.
The answer is Chelsea.
Oh, wow. They'd probably be my last guess, to be honest with you.
Chelsea were apparently interested in him when he was at Swansea in a January window, however, nothing materialised. And now he's coming
Jesus.
to Gorgie.
Having been up in Dingwall.
Yep.
Fuck me.
Right. Question 2. Which former Hearts player got 5 goal contributions in his last 2 games in highly publicised games?
Ellis Sims.
Correct. Well, see, this is what I mean. I'm just giving you some of these. So,
Oh,
yes. Ellis Sims in the last
what a game that was. Wolves
8
Coventry.
days got his first
Unbelievable.
career hat trick, and then, as you say, helped knock Wolves out the FA Cup with, in the 2 games, 4 goals and 1 assist. Well then,
See,
Ellis.
it's the second time that Coventry have reached Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final in their 147-year history, I think I saw.
That is mad.
Unbelievable. And what a way to do it as well.
I know, crazy.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely mad. So, well done. You know who Ellis Sims is.
All the best in the semi and beyond, big man.
Exactly. So, 1 out of 2. True or false? We mentioned this earlier, so let's see how.
Jesus.
Hearts, prior to the weekend, were unbeaten against Ross County in 15 matches.
Oh, you bastard. I thought it was 14. So I'm gonna say false.
Correct, it was false because it was 14.
Yeah, nice.
You shared that stat, so I was like, if he doesn't get this, then it's a disgrace.
Oh my God, thank God for that. Jesus.
Well done. Do you see what I mean
Thanks
about
very
how
much.
I'm kind of giving you these ones because you're ill? It's almost as if I knew you were ill and I've not just been shite at the quiz.
Oh yeah, nothing to do with the fact that you prepared this before I informed you that I was ill. Yeah,
No,
thanks.
not at all. So, final question before the Who Am I? With it being such a big talking point on Hearts Twitter this weekend,
Oh
how
God.
many corners did we have against Ross County despite not scoring?
Oh, I thought I saw this in the little tab on Sports Scene.
This is when you were saying before we came on going, I saw the stats and I was like, shit, you'll have seen the number.
Was it not something like 15?
Is that your answer?
I don't like that face that you're pulling, if I'm honest. I'm gonna go with it.
He's bang on. It's
Oh,
15.
nice. Nice.
Yeah,
This
with
is what
15
happens when you do your
corners.
homework for once.
Exactly.
Should have been me hosting the bloody quiz, but
It
I've
should
actually
have
done my
been.
homework for once.
So yeah, 15 corners, no goals.
So if I'd have considered that Roman Abramovich was that nuts to have thrown money at Jan Danda back in the day, I could have been 4 out of 4 here. But
Which, to be honest, was
sadly,
my expectation for you at this point.
oh yeah, thanks, thanks, mate.
So you failed in many
Just
ways.
downplay my
Yeah,
three. No worries. Cheers, mate.
right. The who am I? I have had just under 100 caps for my country.
Oh Christ.
I have played in Scotland, England, and Ireland. Just before joining Hearts, I was tempted to retire. However, not only did I then join Hearts, I then went on to play for multiple clubs after Hearts. I have played for both an amateur side during my career and a Champions League pedigree level club. Who am I?
Jesus. Right. Well, I'm glad that you said the nations that you did because I had a Lithuanian message us the last time after I said that anybody could have got 100 caps for Lithuania and they were not happy. So
Oh, really?
apologise for that. Oh yeah, I got dogs abuse for that, and rightly so.
Good,
I
deserved.
was very dismissive, so I do
Yep, you were.
apologise. It was
Oh,
just a wee,
what a shock! Adam's dismissive to nations.
no,
That's two
my
weeks in the
track
bounce,
record.
is it?
My track record for this episode's not looking good. It's just a wee light-hearted joke. Come on. Do you know who's initially in my thoughts here, and it can't possibly be, was Glenn Whelan was in my thoughts.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm trying to think as to who the Champions League, like Stoke were not a Champions League level team
What are
back
you
in the day.
talking about? Do you not remember the massive?
I know that Rory Delat's throw-ins knew that I've got them there.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Is one of your questions, has Stoke played in the Champions League?
No, because I'm fairly confident that the answer would be no.
Okay.
I think they played Europa. Did they not play Europa? Did they not reach an FA Cup final? And they got beat off Man City, I think. Right, okay. An amateur team. Can you repeat the clues again, McIver?
Yes,
Sorry.
of course can. I have had just under 100 caps for my country. I have played in Scotland, England, and Ireland. I was tempted to retire before joining Hearts. However, not only did I join the Edinburgh club, I went on to play for a number of clubs after my departure. And I've played for an amateur club in my career alongside a club with Champions League pedigree.
I still think that's applicable. The only problem is, I know that he went on to play, was it for Bristol Rovers, I think, after us? Oh, God. Who? See, if I get the list of clubs in order, I could maybe work it from there. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. Can I have the list of clubs that they played for in order, please, McIver?
Of course you can. So, this individual played for Manchester City,
Okay.
Bury,
Uh-huh.
Chef Wed,
Uh-huh.
Stoke,
Uh-huh.
Aston Villa, Heart of
Yes.
Midlothian.
Yes.
Oh, Fleetwood Town, Withenshaw,
Wythenshawe, yeah, it's a district of Manchester.
amateurs.
All right.
That's the amateur team. And Bristol Rovers.
It's Glenn Whelan. Got to be Glenn Whelan.
Is correct.
Yeah,
Again, this is what I mean. I gave you an easy one because basically, whilst we were
Sorry.
playing Ross County, I saw something on Twitter speaking about, I don't know what it was. It was Hearts players who have had links to Birmingham, the city.
And because he played for Villa.
Because he played for Villa. We have had like
I
three.
forgot that he played for Villa. I don't know who I thought that he played for between Stoke and us. I completely forgot that he was Aston Villa.
Yeah, it was Villa. The connections to Birmingham City, we've had a few, and there was only 3 players who's played for Aston Villa and Hearts.
Hold on. Oh, for Villa and Hearts. I thought you were going to say the goalie. What was the goalie's name? Oh, the Finnish boy. Peter Enkelman.
Correct.
Peter Enkelman's
Alan
one.
Mabry played for Birmingham and stuff like that.
Did he?
I think so.
Jesus.
I think that was one of them. But there's only 3 players to have played for
Snodgrass, Robert Snodgrass.
Snodgrass, Whelan, and I can't actually remember who the other one is, but it's like, fuck me,
Is it
that's not
Enkelman?
good.
No.
It might be,
Must
I don't
be.
know. By the way, I don't know where I fucking got Alan Mabry from, but it's no Alan Mabry who played. I can't remember who it was. Somebody, there was like there's quite a few who have played for Birmingham and Hearts. But yeah, so he's got 91 caps for Ireland, played in Scotland, Ireland, and England. And then, yeah, he said after Aston Villa he was going to retire. But then he came to us, then he went to Fleetwood, then he went to Wythenshawe Amateurs, and then he went to Bristol Rovers, where he then eventually retired last season. And
What about the Fleetwood move as well?
yeah,
Do you remember
exactly.
he said that his departure from
Oh
Hearts was
wait,
amateur, didn't
oh
he?
wait, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just read the
Oh,
paragraph that is
nice.
about
I like it.
Heart of Midlothian on Glenn Whelan's Wikipedia. So on the 14th of August 2019, Glenn Whelan joined Scottish Premiership side Heart of Midlothian on a one-year contract. He left the club in January of 2020 after new manager Daniel Stendhal had dropped him from the team. Whelan subsequently publicly criticised Hearts, saying that he had felt he had been thrown under a bus by the club and described the way they handled his departure as amateurish. Conversely, it was later revealed that Whelan had made little or no effort to become involved in the club and, in the words of fellow countryman journalist Tom English, club, players, and fans alike were unconvinced by the level of commitment the Ireland international showed towards the club, and not one person is sorry to see him go. Not one. Fuck off, Glenn Whelan. It's an embarrassment we ever had your services at us.
Thanks for your performance at Easter Road, but other than that, catch you.
Yeah, but fuck that. So yeah, you got 4 out of 5. You should have got 5, but you got 4 out of 5.
I should have got five, but I'm obviously not quite as
I
obsessed
was
with
about to
Yandanda
say,
as you are.
if
Yeah.
you were maybe at full fitness, you would have got 5.
Thanks. Much like
That's
most of our team.
yeah,
If we were all at full fitness, Hearts maybe would have came away with 3 points, and I might have came away with 5 out of 5. But not to be. Always,
maybe.
always, always after the international break, or in my
Yeah,
case, after my bloody dissertation's done.
exactly. So let us know if you did get Glenn Whelan, and let us know if you did enjoy this episode by leaving a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you've been watching Adam constantly mute and unmute as he's coughing
Yeah,
himself to
sorry,
death,
team.
then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials, Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can find me reading all the wacky and wonderful of Glenn Whelan's career at Adam T. Kendall. What about yourself, mate?
I'm at DMcIver22. As we say, we're off next week normally because it's an international break. And then after
God
that,
knows
there'll
when I'll be
be
back.
a few episodes, a couple, a few, who knows, without Adam. It'll be me and someone else holding down the fort. But
Probably Richard Cobb.
probably he'll be one of them. He'll be one of them. Let's be honest. Let's just accept it about ourselves. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
What the Hearts?